Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the March 13th, 2019 meeting of the Delhi Township Board of Trustees. As is our usual procedure, we will begin tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Tonight's moment of silence is only fittingly dedicated to our active military personnel, our retired military veterans, and to those military who have paid the ultimate price. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. All right, Mr. Luby, can we begin, please?
Motion to approve the minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting held on February 28th, 2019, and dispense with the reading.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes. Motion passes.
Motion to approve bills for payment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve the payment of overtime for pay periods ending February 26th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, continuing along, report from our fiscal officer, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2019-30, resolution approving purchase order obligations incurred on behalf of the township by the township administrator, authorizing payment of certain purchase order obligations and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
Move to dispense with the second reading of the resolution, please.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
As far as our significant transactions since the last meeting, as far as deposits on 3/12, we received a cable franchise fee for $51,000. As far as disbursements on 3/7, our payroll was $275,000. And then on March the 4th, we had an auditor from the state's office come down to audit our CIC, our Community Investment Corporation's accounting records for 2017 and 2018. And upon their audit, they found that our accounting records were in compliance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 117.11a. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Luby. That's a great job. Following along, any trustee correspondence? Trustee Davis?
Just one, Trustee Seavey. Thank you to the DCPA for their Mardi Gras party, which was, again, another big success. As I heard last year, it was like standing room only, and it was crowded, and this year it was probably not as crowded, but yeah, but they sold less tickets, I guess, because it was so crowded last year. But the moral of the story is it's a huge success, and it was an honor to be there and to see some of the people who I see every day, to see them in that Mardi Gras setting with their costumes on. It will put me into therapy for a long time. But it was great, and again, a special shout out to the DCPA and everything they do for this township. And I know that night we paid tribute again to Tom Winkler, who, as we said, I like to call him the true mayor of Delhi. So it was just nice, and the DCPA just having those extra eyes and ears in the community. I think we all know it's just incredible. So thank you again. For the invite, and just what a fun night it was. So thank you. I didn't win any prizes, but it was a fun night. So,
Trustee Sturts?
Yes. The Hamilton County Public Health Advisory Council, thank you, of which I serve as the chair. We had our annual meeting this week, and you may not know it, but Hamilton County Board of Health is celebrating their 100th anniversary this year. So if we think back on all the things they've done for us, pasteurized our milk, gotten our meat taken care of, water taken care of, lots of things. So we'll be inviting them back sometime this year to recognize what they've accomplished for us. And they can give us a little information about that. And then secondly, for those of you who missed it, since we're here tonight with all the veterans, and people don't know how much the veterans really do for us, Delhi Township Veterans Association, but Monday they were asked by the family of a veteran whose name is out here on the wall. He celebrated his 100th anniversary of his birthday. So they got together as a family, went to church, went to his gravesite, came up here, and our veterans held a memorial service for him. They played taps, they had the color guard, they had a prayer. So the family was very, very touched. So, gentlemen, thank you for everything that you do for our citizens.
I also have a note of thank you and gratitude, and that goes to our Delhi Township Fire Department for the outstanding bowling tournament that some of us participated in last Sunday. And the tournament was all for a good cause. And we usually they usually partner with the skirt game cops and firefighters, and this year they also had a special note for one of our own who has suffered a really tragic accident. So thanks everyone for coming out and bowling, and Mike, I didn't come home with any prizes from that either, so. But anyway, it's great to see the community come out in force the way it has for these events in support of these organizations. Thank you very much. Tonight's a very special night. And if you're following the agenda, you're going to see that it says special presentation. Because tonight it is our privilege and it is our honor to be to partner with the Delhi Township Veterans Association in a very special ceremony of recognition and gratitude. Our Delhi Veterans Memorial includes 19 KIA soldiers. Not all KIAs come home to rest on U.S. soil. And so it was true for Staff Sergeant Clarence Fishchesser. And tonight, we are going to not only honor his service, but we have a special note of gratitude for that family in the Netherlands that takes care of that gravesite. So if we can begin now with our special presentation for Clarence Fishchesser. Clarence Fishchesser was born on January the 31st, 1913. He grew up in Delhi Township and married his high school sweetheart, Esther Lips. Clarence was drafted in the Army and was called to serve in the Netherlands at the forefront of World War II. Clarence was killed in action on February the 28th, 1945, while serving in the Netherlands and was laid to rest at the World War II Netherlands American Cemetery and Memorial in Margraten. Clarence was posthumously awarded by the United States the Bronze Star Medal for his meritorious service, the Purple Heart Medal for giving his life for his country, and the European Campaign Medal for his service in Europe. This is a picture of the decorated graves of our 8,281 soldiers buried at the World War II Netherlands American Cemetery and Memorial. You now see a few pictures of that cemetery. The United States flag flies over the military servicemen buried at this cemetery. Also, Clarence's wife, Esther, at age 93, visited the Delhi Township Veterans Memorial Park during its service in 2012. Esther today is alive, a little weak to come here tonight, but we do send her our best. This is Esther actually pointing to her husband's name on our wall of honor. This is a picture of the original stone memorial at the Veterans Memorial Park and the bricks that were installed and engraved to honor the 19 of those who were killed in action. This is our family that we're recognizing tonight, along with the Fishchesser family. This is Jean Falquin and his family of the Netherlands, who are the loving caretakers of the Clarence Fishchesser gravesite. Now, if we could have, please, our Delhi Township veterans would like to proclaim this day for Jean Falquin and Clarence Fishchesser. So if I could have Commander Don Osterfeld and Secretary Jeff Leffler come forward. And I'd like to note that Jeff Leffler serves in the Delhi Township Veterans Association in honor of his brother Cliff, who is also one of our 19 KIAs.
I need my cheaters.
The Delhi Township Veterans Association's Medal of Honor Proclamation, whereas Jean Falquin and his family of the Netherlands has volunteered his time and service to honoring and providing the care and maintenance of the grave sites of American service personnel buried in Margraten, Netherlands, especially to Delhi's Clarence Fischesser, who killed in action in 1945 in World War II, and whereas Jean Franquin has provided the membership of the Delhi Township Veterans Association with photos, videos, and other material on the military cemetery at Margraten in the Netherlands, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Delhi Township Veterans Association, Delhi Township, Ohio, United States of America, in extreme appreciation and great gratitude, does hereby award Jean Franquin the Delhi Township Veterans Association's Medal of Honor on this date, February 12, 2019, as attested by Don Ostafel, Commander, Jeff Leffler, Secretary.
Do your Medal of Honor now, Don.
Do your Medal of Honor.
This is the medal right here that we call our Medal of Honor. It is given out sparingly to people who have gone above and beyond their service. Several of our members have received this, including myself and Jeff, and we are going to send this to the Netherlands, to the family that takes care of Clarence gravesite. They have been doing this for approximately 8 years that we know. Clarence had gone to extremes to try and find where he lived and find out about the Delhi veterans. So he searched all over the place at different websites for veterans associations, and he found us. And so we are eternally and grateful that he done this. And so this medal right here, we are sending it to him, and thank you for his service, what he has done for Clarence's gravesite. The people of the Netherlands call each and every one of the soldiers that have lost their lives over there their heroes. And this has been going down from one generation to another. So we're sending this along with the a proclamation from us and the trustees.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Commander Osterfeld and Secretary Leffler. Now, if I could be joined by my fellow trustees and fiscal officer. We too would like to join the Delhi Township Veterans Association in recognition not only of the service of Clarence Fischesser, but also for the loving care of Jean Franquin and his family. So the township would like to go forward with our proclamation in recognition of faithful and enduring service provided by the Franquin family of the Netherlands for adopting Clarence Fischesser's gravesite at the World War II Netherlands American Cemetery and Memorial. John Franquin's Family Service Recognition Day, March the 13th, 2019. Whereas, since 1945, members of the local community of the village of Margraten, located in the southern part of the Netherlands, have been placing flowers and visiting the graves of the 8,291 servicemen who were laid to rest at the World War II Netherlands American Cemetery and Memorial. And whereas for the citizens of Margraten, adoption of the U.S. war graves and the U.S. cemetery itself is a constant reminder of the enormous sacrifice made by the young Americans who did not go home. And whereas American families have taken great solace in knowing that the citizens from the local community of Margraten care about their loved ones. And whereas we are honored to join the Delhi Township Veterans Association in recognition of John Franquin and his family for adopting the gravesite of one of our own, Clarence Fischesser, who was killed in action on February the 28th, 1945. And whereas, in addition, we would like to recognize the support provided over the years to Clarence's wife, Esther Fliss-Chesser, who found comfort knowing that her husband's gravesite has been cared for. And whereas, while there are many great distance between us, the community of Delhi Township will forever remain connected and remember the commitment of Jean Fauquin and his family in memory of the sacrifices made by Clarence Fliss-Chesser, who is laid to rest at the World War II Netherlands American Cemetery and Memorial. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that in recognition of this service provided by the Fauquin family, we declare that March the 13th, 2019, to be Jean Fauquin's Service Recognition Day in Delhi Township, Hamilton County, Ohio, United States of America. Here tonight, we were going to have a niece and a nephew of Clarence Fliss-Chesser to receive both our proclamation from the township and the proclamation from the Delhi Township veterans. And then we will also, and I know he's going to hear this eventually, so Jean Fauquin, you will also receive these. So watch the mail. If I could have Clarence's niece and nephew then come forward. And Don and Jeff, you've got yours. So on behalf of Delhi Township, we'd like to give you this copy of the proclamation proclaiming that today is the day for the gentleman and his family who care for Clarence. Thank you.
The Delhi Veterans Association will also echo just what Mrs. Seavey had said, and just to give you a close look at this, what we will be sending over there to the Netherlands.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And we'll be going downstairs pretty soon, and you can get a closer look at this, and we'll get together and have some refreshments in just a few moments, and then we'll be dismissed up here.
Okay, then on behalf of the Delhi Township trustees and our fiscal officer, we say first thank you to the Delhi Township Veterans Association and for all the families that gathered here tonight in tribute to Staff Sergeant Clarence Fliss-Chesser, and this very special thank you to Jean Fauquin for your loving care of our fallen hero and your liberator. Thank you. I know that the families are ready to go downstairs and maybe meet and greet one another, so we'll take a moment's break here and dismiss all of you to go down. Don, you want to lead the way for them to, it's a stairway or the elevator. Thank you, everyone.
For what you do. Thank you. A friend of mine that lives in Harrison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm a nephew as well. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Appreciate the invitation. Thank you. Thank you for what you all do. I appreciate it. I can't get my
See you again. Yeah, I heard you were under the weather a little bit there.
All right, Danny, are we back on? All right, then we'll continue with the meeting. With the police department.
Motion to accept the voluntary resignation of part-time police clerk Austin D. Lee, effective March 14th, 2019.
So moved?
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Public Works. Mr. Luby, resolution, please.
Resolution 2019-31, resolution ordering final assessment amounts against abutting property owners for the construction, repair, and maintenance of sidewalk and driveway apron improvements along various township streets. Order performed in connection with the Delhi Street Rehabilitation and Repair Project 2018-A. following notice and hearing establishing payment terms for the assessments in accordance with revised code 5543.10 and its policy and procedures, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Mr. Ripperger?
Thank you, trustees. This resolution follows the hearing we had at the last meeting, and it just gives us the ability to send out the final letters and bills. The majority of the people have already taken care of it, and this will be followed by another resolution in a couple months so we can send in the information or the remainder to the auditor.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2019-32, resolution declaring necessity for Delhi Township Street Rehabilitation and Repair Project 2019-A, and ordering the construction, repair, and maintenance of sidewalks and driveway aprons along these various township streets without petition, establishing tentative assessment estimates against abutting property owners pursuant to revised code 5543.10, and dispensing with a second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Again, Mr. Ripperger?
Thank you. This gets us started for the 2019 paving season for the township. As you can see, the 4 roads, Happy, Canis, Sultana, and Devon Hill, all located in one area, is what we'll be doing. It also sets up the first public hearing so we can give notice to the residents. And it also gives us the ability to advertise to put out to bid for our contract.
Okay.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Thank you, Ron. Okay, Fire Department, Chief Campbell.
Motion to accept the Safety Intervention Grant Award from the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation in the amount of $34,017.56 for a power cot.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Accept the resignation of part-time firefighter paramedic Aaron Hopkins effective February 12th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to accept the resignation of part-time firefighter EMT Brandon T. Murphy effective March 12th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to accept resignation of full-time firefighter paramedic Jesse E. Crook effective March 22nd, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Chief Campbell, you had something to add for this.
Yes, thank you, trustees. We talked about back in November or December, I believe, that we were going to go for this safety intervention grant specifically to install a power cot in one of our ambulances. As you're aware, the 2019 ambulance that we purchased, it'll be in hopefully around June, July. That one will have a power cot in it. This grant allows us to retrofit one of our existing ambulances. So we'll have 2 of the 3 frontline ambulances with a power cot. And then the additional monies will go towards a Lucas machine. Basically, it's a hands-free CPR device that can be placed on the patient to assist and allow us to have an extra pair of hands for cardiac arrest. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, great job. Parks and Recreation, again, Mr. Luby?
Motion to allow the Parks and Recreation Director to contract with Jim Boyle to coordinate the Delhi Township Park Softball League for 2019 Spring and Fall Softball Leagues at a fee of $3,000 and $150 per day for tournaments in a form as approved by the Law Director.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes. Motion passes.
Motion to allow the Parks and Recreation Director to authorize the use of Delhi Park for the Oak Hills Youth Association Kilts and Kegs 5K on April 27th in a form as approved by the Law Director.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
I vote for kegs.
It's a, like I said earlier, it's a winning recipe for the West Side.
I
Kegs
agree.
and anything.
You want to explain what the Kilts and Kegs really is?
So it's we're teaming with Oak Hills Youth Athletic Association. We've been trying to find a partner for having a 5K completely enclosed in the park, and they kind of stepped up and brought this idea to us. They're really doing a lot of the legwork before, but the day of, we'll certainly be a big partner in it. But it's just a 5K to help them raise money for the Youth Association and provide a good, fun day for the public. There'll be food trucks, a DJ, games, contest, food, beer. But if you're interested in registering, you can go to their website and register at Oak Hills Youth Athletics website.
Right, that's OHYA, O-H-Y-A.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Luby, continue.
Motion to approve the rehiring of Elizabeth A. Rodesheimer as seasonal Parks and Recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $10.92 per hour, effective March 14th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion to approve the rehiring of David A. Hay as seasonal Parks and Recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $9.64 per hour, effective March 14th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion to approve the rehiring of Kenneth A. Ellis as seasonal Parks and Recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $9.45 per hour, effective March 14th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion to approve the rehiring of Wyatt A. Griner as seasonal Parks and Recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $9.45 per hour, effective March 14th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes. Motion passes.
Motion to approve the rehiring of Gregory L. Colvin as seasonal Parks and Recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $9.45 per hour, effective March 14th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion to approve the hiring of Sherry L. Hawkins as seasonal Parks and Recreation worker in the Parks and Recreation Department at a pay rate of $10 per hour, effective March 14th, 2019, and completion of drug testing and background check.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes. Mr. Torbeck, are you finished with hiring yet, or do you still have positions available?
So glad you asked. We have positions available. So if you're interested, please call the park office at 451-3300. Ask for me, but we do have a couple positions available.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Administration, I have no agenda items for you. Community Development, Mr. DeLong. Mr. Luby, you want to start with the resolution?
Resolution 2019-33, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 529 Pedretti Road, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. DeLong?
Yeah, as you can see in the photo on the screen at 529 Pedretti Road, you can see debris on the side of the home, including tires, and then there's a mattress in the rear yard. The condition was still in the state as you see it in the photo as of this morning, so we do request to declare it a nuisance.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yeah.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2019-34, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 1123 Betty Lane, declaring an emergency and dispensing with a second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. DeLong?
Yeah, as you can see on the photos again at 1123 Betty Lane, there's mattresses in the driveway and there is debris in the rear yard. The condition of the property is actually worse than you see in the photos as of this morning, so we do request you declare it a nuisance.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2019-35, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 4571 Mayhew Avenue, declaring an emergency and dispensing with second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. DeLong?
As you can see in the photo on screen, at 4571, there's a mattress leaning against the side of the house. That mattress was still there as of this morning, so we do request you declare it a nuisance.
So, Mr. DeLong,
Yes.
you've shut down the mattress disposal position down on the last place.
Yes.
So have they picked up new areas, or they no longer have a place to drop these old mattresses? I mean, Rumpke will take them.
Rumpke
You do
will
have to
take-
wrap them, and you have to tell them that you have it there to be picked up.
Correct. To answer your first question, I don't believe that's where the residents were taking their debris. There is
it was something else.
there's another suspect that
Okay.
the sheriff's department's been watching.
Okay.
On that one, and that property is now cameraed. So, and there has been activity down there. So, but as for anything else, you are correct. All of this stuff can be picked up by Rumpke. You just have to properly wrap it, let them know. And I'm going to make a quick plug too, since Josh had an opportunity. We do have a zoning inspector position open. The position does close on Friday, or inspector as Jack titles it, but it does close on Friday. And that individual will be able to help us with remedying these types of issues around the township. So we do look forward to an enthusiastic, community service oriented, great public service individual to help us improve the community as we work hard to clean up the community with issues like these.
All right. You're on.
Move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Mr.
have a
DeLong, one more
question?
thing, if I could. Madam President, on my way here to the meeting, I was on Mount Arvona, right at Glen Oaks, and I'm not sure what exactly happened. It looks like probably the landlord threw everybody out of their house, and it is literally scattered across that front lawn, so we might want to jump on that quickly.
Yeah, what we can do is we'll put it in as a complaint. Typically, when a property or a tenant gets evicted from the property, they have to do a set out. It has to sit out there for a certain amount of time, and
Yeah.
typically they do come in and clean it up, but we'll put it in a community
Right.
monitor on it. I'll drive by and get the address later, so
Yeah, so those that are watching at home and you've seen the same pile, we're on it.
We're on
So,
it.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right.
Madam President,
Yes.
since we're on the hiring kick, there's a couple that feel left out.
Do we have a couple that would like to also
Yeah,
speak to this?
Anytime there's a part-time firefighter that would like to apply, we're always taking applications for that.
Okay.
And the police department is currently out for police clerks. I believe there's a full-time position, and there are a number of part-time slots that we can fill. And at this moment, the full-time slot is going to be a second shift. So right now, we're looking for someone on second shift for that. So those are on our website if they need to apply.
So we've got 2 clerks in the police department, part-time in the fire department, zoning inspector in the zoning and community development group. Josh has got summer seasonal help. Ron, you sure there's nothing we can help you with? Okay, all right. No, these are great jobs and great opportunity, people, so if you're interested in all, please go to the website and read the job descriptions and fill out an application. Okay, public comments. I do have someone signed in this evening. And just a reminder, Mr. Papner, it's a 5-minute limit. So Chris Papner of 5004 Chantilly.
He's back.
You've probably seen me before.
Is it on?
Turn that on, Jim, would you?
Sorry, Chris.
Okay, with the sofa. Is that it?
Nope.
Nope. I'll take it over.
There's a little button on the side, push it out.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
All right, that's better. There we go. All right. Okay. I don't know if you remember me from
I do.
a while ago. Well,
And you're back.
I am back.
They're back.
Well, they've never left. So basically what I'm here is
it's getting worse as far as not really the they're not bothering my house as much as my side yard looks like Rumpke Dump now. I'm not sure why they feel they need to throw their trash out their window, but I've got 2 separate occasions. They've cleaned it up about halfway. This time it's even worse. So I'm done asking them. I'm done dealing with them. My kids are terrified. My wife is terrified. As you know, I'm a firefighter. I leave every 3 days. I'm gone for 24 hours. My mother-in-law comes over because my wife and kids won't sleep at night. There is the other neighbors down the street have said they've witnessed drug deals go on. Tuesday morning, I'm almost 100% certain that they were rolling a joint in the car. As my kid's bus pulls up, goes to cross the street to get my kids on the bus, they go flying past the bus. The bus driver blows the horn. In my mind, they have no regard for anybody in the neighborhood.
Chris, you didn't get a license plate at that point.
I did not. I was trying to get ready to go to work.
Pride, Chief.
Do what I can. I do know it's a dark green Cavalier. That's all I know. But
Can I ask, are those the employees that come down?
yes, I believe so, yes. As far as now, it seems to be the employees are the problem now, other than the trash. And other than the kids, they holler obscene gestures at all the kids, all the girls on the street. My buddy's wife lives down the street, and she walks her dogs every night, and they holler stuff at her all night. It's to the point where I don't know if you guys can do something about it, and I understand your hands are tied to a certain extent. I get it, but I pay a lot of taxes to live here. I live in this area for this reason. I've grown up in Delhi. I've lived in Delhi my whole life. I want my kids to live here. But if this continues on, I will not live here. In fact, I don't even think I'll live in Hamilton County. So it's to the point where I know the police presence has kind of died down a little bit. They're still there every once in a while, but not nearly like they used to be. But something's got to be done. I don't understand how if I go to build a garage in my backyard, I have to get approval from you, my neighbors, and everybody, but they can move criminals into my neighborhood with me not even knowing. They don't have to ask me. They don't have to say nothing to me. I don't understand it. And I know I'm not necessarily mad at any of you guys. I know you guys are
Actually, I think all 3 of us have made drive-by tours of this location. And I was of the understanding that for a while they had calmed down and a couple of the troublemakers were actually...
the one kid they removed because he stole their van.
Okay.
Took off to
Trustee
Kentucky. So they
Davis,
put him
you
back
had
in
something
jail,
to
I
say?
guess. But
I first of all, thanks for coming back, because that was, in our last discussion, that was the request. Did you, as we talked then, did you hook up cameras? Do you have videos running?
I have cameras, and then I'm in the middle of getting them. Something happened, they're not working right. Okay. But I do have cameras. That's the other. I spent $300 on cameras to monitor this, and I realize it's the way of the world. I'm not whatever. That's not just for them. That's for everybody. But it's kind of died down a little bit. The criminal activity has died down, but the fact that my wife goes to bed every night thinking there's criminals living next door, I don't feel like we should have to live like this.
Trustee Starcher, you had a question?
I'm not finished yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One of the things on the cameras, and I'm not a paid representative, but the ringer is incredible because that thing can pick up any motion. So when they're sleeping, their phone will ding, and they already have that much advance notice that something is moving in that yard. They can look out real fast, and that fast you can get 911. And you're looking at 5010, if I remember right. That's the address. Yeah,
yep, that's the address.
And I'm sure Delhi's finest are very aware of what's going on there. I have a special interest in it because I live 2 blocks away. I pass it all the time. It was great during the cold because a lot of them stayed in, and I've noticed since exactly, and
summer's ramping up.
Yeah, you can see it already getting ready to roll. So
You were here last summer, if I remember
this
correctly.
has been going on almost a year now that we've been dealing with this. And like I said, we kind of even came to the point where, let's just accept this. Let's try to make the best of it, try to help them, whatever. And I've given them windows out of my house. Like, here, you guys can have this. I mean, I've done everything we can to try to accommodate to them and try to make them be a part of this. And it's just nonsense that I got to live next to this. And not to mention, I told them to clean that garbage up the one time. It took them 3 days to get somebody out there to do it. And now it's worse than the last time. So it's obvious they're not going to.
No, I've been watching the chief write all this information down. We will pick up where we left off. We know whose criminals they are, and
well, I'm to the point where I might even write Mike DeWine or somebody and find out why this is even legal. I don't understand why we should have to put up with this. I just, and like I said, I live here for a reason. I live in Delhi because it was a nice, quiet community, and now it's being
We
torn apart.
actually did quite a bit of investigation on this on your last visit. So I think we'll revisit what we found out from then and figure out how to take it farther if necessary. Okay?
recommend calling, we can provide the numbers.
Okay, all right.
Right.
Chief,
I've
can you
got-
talk to Mr. Papner then?
I can give you one warning of not like a threat or just a warning that if nothing changes, you've got 6 houses on that street will be up for sale within this year.
And they may end up being the same.
And the
Fine.
problem that I have with it, the biggest problem I have with it is they're killing my property value. I've got a lot of money invested
We
in my
understand
house,
that.
and if I don't get anywhere close to it, I'm going to be furious because I've put a lot of money into my house to make it look nice. We all have.
Yeah.
So
And if you talk to them, Chris, it sounds like you guys have a pretty tight neighborhood there.
we do.
There's nothing wrong. Chief I'm sure he'd be 100% for it too. If you, anything that seems even just a tad out of place, even if you don't have 100% of really what's going, call 911 every time. I don't care if all the residents call when they see,
Right.
you're not putting anybody out.
I know. I hate tying up if somebody really needs something.
Well, here's
outside
the
of
problem.
this. I hate
That's
tying
the
up.
firefighter
Yeah.
in you.
Yeah, I do. I go to them. I go to
And
the
we
rooms,
appreciate
I'm like,
that, but
you know.
now you've just come for a second night. Now we're talking about 6 other homes.
Right.
You might actually be proactive in preventing some other things or expediting your own complaint
Yeah.
to get some action.
Right.
You follow
and
me?
we thought about that, and I just, like I said, I hate tying them guys up for, and it's nothing usually criminal other than the drug activity. I didn't really see any of that until yesterday.
Let the police decide that.
Right.
Why should you or the neighbors decide what's really going on? Who the heck knows what's going on in that car?
Exactly. I'm not saying it's 100%,
Yeah.
but I was.
Yeah, and the sooner you call them, the quicker they're going to get there, and maybe you can squash something out, and you can watch them be cuffed and handed and gone.
Right.
Well,
You know.
I'm going to thank you for bringing us this attention again, and I'm also going to apologize that you are here again.
Well, I mean,
But
I understand you get
actually,
what you-
Brian, I believe this is something you and I talked about last summer. So,
we did, President. Thank you.
Strangely enough, I actually called him in reference to this particular situation. So he's, our new law director is also, aware of it. So we'll follow up. Chris, does Chief have your contact information? Because I don't have a phone
I'm
number.
not 100% sure if I gave it to you last time or not.
Can you make sure that you
I think
get
I
that?
gave it to you last time.
Okay, and then we'll get back to you.
Okay.
All
That'd
right,
work.
thank
I
you so
appreciate
much.
it. Thank you.
So sorry. All right, then. Announcement of community events, Mr. Luby.
The flood cleanup safety awareness classes will be Friday, March 29th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. It will be at the IBEW NECA Electrical Training Center at 5455 Glenway Avenue. The Community Electronics Recycling Day will be Saturday, April 6th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It will be at Oak Hills High School at 3200 Ebenezer Road in the north parking lot. The Bailey Dementia Free Family Workshop is Wednesday, April 10th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. It'll be at the Bailey Main Building in Richmond Center at 990 Bailey Drive. Delhi Park's Spring Craft and Vendor Show will be Saturday, April 20th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It'll be at the Delhi Senior Community Center at 647 Neeb Road. The Delhi Community Yard Sale presented by Delhi Parks and Recreation Department will be Saturday, April 27th from 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. It'll be at the Delhi Senior Community Center at 647 Neeb Road.
Thank you, Mr. Luby. Trustee Davis, you have a question?
Just one on the announcements, that Bailey Dementia, obviously, since I work for Bailey, but I do want to say this, coming from personal experience, and I think all of us will have, that is a dementia, it's a workshop on dementia, where other people that, experts on dementia, how to deal with people in your families who have that going on, Alzheimer's, you name it. It is a great free class program to come in, maybe share your experiences, others share their experiences, and you get some really great helpful hints and tools to how to cope with it. I say that because I bet everyone within the sound of my voice either experiences in your own family or has friends that has this. This is a great workshop, and it's right here at Bailey on April 10th from 6:30 to 7:30. It's an hour. It'll be the best hour you spent if you're experiencing that.
Thank you. All right, we do have need for executive session this evening, so if I may have that motion, please, Mr. Luby?
Motion to retire to executive session to consider the appointment, employment, and/or compensation of a public employee of the township, and to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Motion carries. That concludes our regular meeting this evening. I'd like to remind all of you that our next meeting will be Wednesday, March the 27th, and have a happy, sober, safe, happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's an oxymoron, isn't it?
I know, kind of oxymoron on the sober and happy.